Hello and currency call. I'm Manisha Gupta. Well, the euro has marked gains against the dollar today, with investors hopeful that the European leaders will reach a deal to ease the debt problems in Greece at the EU summit this week. Tomorrow, actually. Right now, the euro is holding above 1.42, 0.5% of a gain coming in for that. Improved risk appetite is supporting the euro today and weighing on the dollar. The dollar index is trading on the lower side, 75 below that, actually 0.5% of a cut coming in for that. Asian currencies also rose on back of strong euro and positive earnings on Wall Street. South Korea's won, Malaysian ringgit and the Philippine peso all are the major gainers today, with the won shooting up nearly 0.5% against the greenback. The Indian rupee also trading higher, supported by the Asian peers. A sluggish stock market though is weighing onto the sentiment. Right now, rupee on your screens, 44.454 paisa of a gain coming in for that. Let's go across to our guest then, and Abhishek Goenka, CEO, India Forex Advisors, now joins us in our Mumbai studios. Abhishek, hi, welcome to the show. Let's start with the Indian rupee first. A very choppy day today. Of course, we're getting global cues, the Indian stock markets, all of that weighing here. But what's your view?
See, Indian rupee, as of now, the major driver of the Indian rupee is simply the flows we can see. This particular year, we have seen around 86 billion worth of rupees of flows, and that's actually driving the rupee. As and when we are seeing the increased risk across various nations and increased risk across various asset classes, flow starts coming in and the rupee starts going a little stronger. Vice versa, when its flow starts drying up, rupee goes to 80, 90. So I think that's the main driver. We cannot negate the facts that we are still suffering from huge deficit, inflation and various other financial and political concerns. And in a medium-term perspective, we still feel that rupee is a weaker currency, and as soon as we see the crisis developing elsewhere, the money will start flowing into dollar, and I guess rupee will again go towards 44, 70, 80. One very important point that we have to note is that 2 rupees 60 paisa is almost as a premium for 1 year now. Now, as and when we are entering the third quarter, and the expectations of US raising interest rates next year, maybe first or second quarter, and India actually hitting at the end of the curve, maybe after this quarter basis point, on this 26, we may not see further hikes. So when we see the yield differentials going down between India and US, that is a time when the premium will start coming down. So it's, I think, even the levels of 44, 60, 70, I think a longer term short position for an exporter is an amazing levels to go short, where he can earn on the premiums when the premiums actually shrink down.
All right, so there's lots of things that you can do to make money in that currency. But, if you look at most of the Asia, we have seen a bit of strength coming in. Indian rupee hasn't gained so much, but if you look at the other Asian currencies, whether it's baht or won, we have seen huge gains coming in for that. Do you think rupee in that sense might see some sentiment gain coming in?
See, whatever gains we are seeing in rupee, I think it's only because of the flows. In the Asian majors also, fundamentally, if you look at the rest of the Asia, talk about Singapore or Malaysia or Korean won, fundamentally these currencies are getting very strong. They have decent inflation, they have decent growth, reduced unemployment. So I guess, we cannot compare India with these currencies, because India is having its own structural problems, which is very much prevalent as of now. Yes, definitely, if we are getting 2, 3, 4 days gain in these various currencies, then definitely rupee will make use of it and rupee will get stronger. At the same time, we have to see that, almost $2 billion have flown in, and the kind of appreciation we have seen is around 50, 60 paisa. So we have not seen the levels of 44 breaking, and I think people are still very cautious in terms of rupee as of now.
How about the euro? Because every market is now awaiting the EU summit to hear some final, concrete statements coming in for that one, and long term at that, because we've heard a lot of short term statements coming in from that. How would you want to trade euro at 1.42 now?
See, euro, I think it's more of, the way it has got bought in the last couple of days is basically buy on the rumor and sell on the news. As of now, the people are getting a little euphoric that there's going to be some kind of an alignment and agreement by all the nations on this recent meet that is going to happen. But one very, recently there were also talks that they are going to launch euro bonds, which euro bonds are going to be a collective bonds by across all nations, in which they are going to reduce the interest rates and start launching these bonds, which will ultimately benefit the PIGS countries, the Portugal, Ireland, Spain and Greece, which I feel fundamentally is flawed, because the countries like Germany and all, which they never cooperate, because this is going to increase the interest burden for these particular economies. What we have to see that structurally there is a problem with euro. These kind of meets will keep on happening. This is the second time we're having a meet on Greece. Structurally, there's a problem that, they have a single currency. But at the same time, they have different policies, different tax policies, different competitiveness of different nations, and different fiscal policies and all that. So there has to be a consensus. There is a fundamental flaw in the entire euro concept. So I think on a medium term perspective, even if we see a bounce back in euro to 43, 44, I think there's going to be a fall again, and the people are waiting to short the euros. People are building up positions at 42, 43 levels to actually go short the euro. I think 1.3738 is something which is very much plausible.
One thing that though is in favor of euro is the interest rate hikes, and there are more to come is what the statements are in. But do you think euro in some sense would take some support from the dollar as well, where there are more problems going on?
See, with case of dollars, recently if you see the figures, the ticks by data was very, very good. They had around $38 billion worth of buying of treasury bonds. And overall, if you see, the recently the debt ceiling issue, which is too much hyped upon, I guess ultimately that is going to get passed. The $14 trillion that they are looking at putting the debt ceilings is going to get passed. And with concerns in China, Europe and US, the money will ultimately start going into the safe haven. Safe haven, when we talk about, is again, we're talking about US dollar. It's not strong because it is strong, but it's because others are weak. So at this point of time, I think the money will still start going in US dollar, and euro fundamentally, since it's a problem, and if you look at the bond yields, the Greek bond yields is as high as 1530 basis points against the German bonds. The Spain, Italy and others, as a similar case. So people are not ready to give them money, and with the US, as of now, the money is still flowing in the US dollar and the treasury bonds. I think US in that case is going to be the default currency where the money is going to go in the medium term.
The way it has been for all these decades. All right, thank you so much for that, Abhishek, for coming back and giving us your views on currencies there. So dollar is something you can put your money on. Euro might see resistance at 1.44. Indian rupee also can see resistance at 44.70 is what India Forex Advisors is telling us. With that, it's a wrap on this segment of Currency Call. Thank you for watching.